yesterday, we looked at these Devil's Den murders. So this was something that happened in Arkansas in the USA. And this couple were out in the national park on a hike with their two daughters, young daughters, and were brutally murdered. We don't know the full circumstances yet, but the police had put out, some description of who they were looking for. The daughters escaped. The daughters found their way to the sort of tourist centre, and the police were rang, but unfortunately it was too late to save their parents, who were just out there. They hadn't been in the area that long. The same apparently as the perpetrator. And then a sketch was released. Now I want to show you the sketch and the photo of the person who's been arrested. So remember, we were talking, maybe was it even possible it might be anything to do with Travis Decker? But no, it's not. So this is the suspect who's been arrested. Now, this to me is the thing about these photo fits. You can see, I'm not blaming the kids. At the end of the day, it's very difficult they don't really look alike, do they? So maybe the eyes a little bit. Of course, he had a baseball cap on. But look, the mouth is completely different. And maybe he's got a bigger chin than, like, this is a very short chin. He's got bigger ears. I think photo fits, there's always a problem with photo fits, isn't there? Because not only relying on the memory of somebody, but people have different memories. It'd be interesting. I'd like to do, to sort of do an experiment with that. I mean, I don't know how I could do it, but if you just show someone a picture of someone just for a moment, and don't forget, of course, this is in traumatic circumstances as well, when they would have seen this guy. So the kids were probably just, apparently it's being said, and again, I don't know if it's true, because you hear all these rumors that the 9/11 operator said that she heard the parents say to the girls, just run as far as you can. So those girls will have been in a mad panic. Their parents were being attacked. The parents are telling them to run. So how much could they really remember of the person, And I think it's interesting with the eyes there, because obviously they saw this person at their worst as they were attacking their parents. So is it, the eyes of somebody who's just having a mugshot taken are going to be different from the eyes of someone who's trying to kill someone. Like the whole persona will be different. Of course, the nose is different. So I think it's a good example. It shows, I think the cheekbones are quite good, quite accurate, aren't they? But the length of the mouth isn't. He's got this little prissy mouth, hasn't he? Whereas this is like a mean sort of long mouth. That's what reminded me of Travis Decker the most, and the lack of a chin. So apparently he was in the barbers when he was arrested. So he was having a trim at the time. So let's have a look at, let's see, I've got a few videos for us to watch about this. I'm going to put a couple of windows down. That one can go down. Let's have a look at this video first.
All right, we are breaking into our regular programming for just a few moments to set up what will take place at 9:30 this afternoon, or this evening. There will be a press conference at the Arkansas State Police Troop headquarters in Lowell. The governor will be there along with state police officials, all to announce that there has been an arrest made in the Devil's Den double murder. If we have a picture, we could maybe try to show that or we can just real quickly read the press. There's the picture. His name is James McCann. He is 28 years old. He's from Springdale. He was arrested in connection with the double homicide that took place on Saturday at Devil's Den State Park. He was arrested and taken into custody at a Springdale business just before 5 o'clock.
Yes. And so, as we know, this happened on Saturday at Devil's Den. There's been a manhunt going on up until this point. And now this is the information we're learning right now from Arkansas State Police that this person has been.
Yeah, James McGann. He's 28. So young. I've been trying to put a comment on there to agree with you, David. Yes, I think the police did really well. And every time I try and put the comment on, YouTube's rejecting it and telling me it's spam. Honestly, I'll never understand YouTube and what they accept and what they don't accept. So all I'm trying to say is, yes, the police did great. And he's rejecting it, so I managed to put that comment up. But yeah, the police did great. I was trying to agree with you. How quickly they've apprehended him, and they've had to work. Well, we're going to watch the police conference and you'll see it was nearly derailed a little bit by some social media podcasters who would say actually, because the police obviously didn't want him to know they were onto him. This James McGann, and they were onto him quite early on, I think. But obviously they didn't want him to know, so they wanted to find him and arrest him. But some podcaster, I don't know which one, but they make a reference to it in the police conference. They are, I suppose they are up against a lot because, social media, they should not, all mainstream media should not name people. The police should have to give their permission. Sometimes the social media can run ahead, can't it, of the official investigations. I do think that is a fact.
Arrested. Now, Governor Sanders released a statement about this. She said no news can heal the enormous harm done to the Brink family in last weekend's crime, but this announcement is a comfort and reassurance for our state. She says she's so proud of all the law enforcement that has helped bring this arrest to happen, and I'm sure we'll hear more from her, obviously, at that press conference.
Yeah, she's going to be there along with the state police colonel, who is going to be there as well, and who you're looking at there now, of course, are the victims of this double homicide, 43-year-old Clinton Brink and then 41-year-old Kristen Brink. They were fatally attacked while they were hiking with her two young children on a trail there at Devil's Den late Saturday afternoon, or middle part of Saturday afternoon. The girls, who were 7 and 9, were not injured. We'll have much more about that as well, too. But just to set this up, there is going to be a news conference, and of course we'll carry it live right here on 5 News. Also,
yeah, we're going to watch the news conference in a moment. Well, we're going to watch another video first of all, and then the news conference. So let's go. Let me find the other video. Put a couple of windows down. Yeah, let's have a look at this one. So this guy's actually outside the hairdressers where this person was arrested.
We're here outside of Lupita's Beauty Salon in Springdale. This is on Huntsville Avenue, for those of you who don't know. This is Arkansas State Police did confirm that this is where that suspect was arrested, James Andrew McGann, 28 years old. He was taken into custody just before 5 p.m. Today while getting a haircut here. He is charged with 2 counts of capital murder in the deaths of those 2 people.
Yeah, sat there as calm as a cucumber having a haircut. Double murderer. He's orphaned those children, apart from terrorizing them and terrifying them. What could the possible motive be for this?
According to social media post by a salon employee, detectives entered the shop mid-haircut and made that arrest. Video shows what appears to be investigators inside the shop photographing hair clippings on the floor with evidence markers surrounding them. Another video shows a black 4-door sedan taped off and marked as evidence being loaded onto a roll.
Joanne, this is the guy who's killed that couple who were out with their children in the national park. So there was, Those the couple that's up in the right hand picture of the screen as you're looking at it, that's a married couple. They were attacked, and luckily their children, they had 2 young children with them who managed to get away. So that couple died defending their children, didn't they?
Police have not confirmed the vehicle's connection to the case. The owner of the salon did say that police did tell her that the arrest was related to the Devil's Den murders, and now that has been confirmed by Arkansas State Police. Police did close the business down following that arrest. The scene is now clear, and the store does remain shut, but we are still, in contact with the people who work here, with the owner who confirmed that information with us earlier.
Imagine how you would feel. It'd be like me doing a Spanish class with someone, and suddenly the police turn up and arrest them. You've had a murderer sat there in your hairdressing salon. You've been trimming their hair, and he's a double murderer. And there he is in your chair, and then you've got to close down your salon.
And continue talking with her, and we're going to bring that information as soon as we have it. We're live here in Springdale. I'm Abner Sosa, 4029 News.
So let's have a look at the police. I'm gonna watch that one. Sorry, we're going to have a look at the actual police conference now.
The governor is going to come out along with Colonel Mike Hager, so let's listen in.
Good evening. Thank y'all for coming in late this evening. We are here in Northwest Arkansas, a community that has been absolutely.
Now, I've got to say, they should be proud of themselves. The law enforcement in this case, they've done really well.
Heartbroken over the course of the almost last week. Our entire state is grieving for the tragic loss and senseless and horrific crime that's taken place in this area. One of the worst experiences that certainly I've ever had was making a phone call to the Brink family earlier this week. Nothing like that should ever take place. And for a family to have to go through and deal with that level of tragedy is something that no one should ever experience, and something that we never want to take place in our state. And while that was one of the worst moments, certainly one of the moments where we're the most grateful is for the absolute tireless and heroic efforts of our law enforcement and the collaborative effort from every single level, from our city, our county, our state parks, our federal partners who have worked together to bring this person to justice. And I'm so thankful for their courageous and tireless efforts that they've put forth over the course of the last several days. And I cannot thank them enough for the way that they put themselves on the line, not just over this week, but every single day, and the way that they represent our state. I want to be clear that if you commit a violent, senseless act here in our state, our law enforcement will hunt you down and bring you to justice, because that's what the people of Arkansas frankly deserve. That's what they've asked for. And that's what this team has been able to deliver this week. And we're very grateful for their work. I want to finish by saying that I ask all Arkansans to join me in lifting the Brink family and their 2 precious daughters up in prayer, and to continue after these next few days to continue to pray for them, because it's a long road ahead and the grieving process has just begun. And I hope that our entire state will wrap their arms around this family and comfort them in a way that no other place can other than Arkansas. Thank you again for all of the efforts of those who are standing here with me tonight. And with that, I'll turn it over to Colonel Mike Hager, the head of state police.
Thank you, Governor, and good evening. Before I start with the prepared remarks, I have to say it's the greatest of honors to stand here and represent a lot of people that are not standing at this podium. They're not in front of your cameras. We have a building full of criminal investigators from state police, local agencies, federal partners that are unshaven. They look unkempt. They've not slept in days. They've barely taken time to eat. I cannot express the gratitude I have for the men and women that have made this possible. Arkansas State Police Special Agents have arrested James Andrew McGann, 28, of Springdale. He's been charged with 2 counts of capital murder in the deaths of Clinton David Brink and Kristen Amanda Brink. Clinton and Kristen were killed on Saturday, July 26, 2025, at Devil's Den State Park. The suspect was taken into custody this evening at 4:57 p.m. at a business in the Springdale area.
Now, sorry, I just want to interrupt for a moment there because he's from Springdale, the guy. Now, I think I need a course on American geography. I get so confused with American, I get confused with any geography. But in America, there's so many places that have got the same name, isn't it? But you've got, I don't know, Springfield somewhere and lots of different Springfields, and maybe there's different Springdale. So I'm not even going to think about where Springdale is. But so apparently, because yesterday I was talking about Travis Decker, and he did what he did in Washington, but apparently there's Washington State and Washington something else. I'm not even going to go into it because I don't understand it. But apparently I got the wrong Washington, and that's not the first time that's happened with places in America that have got the same name, but there's different ones. That does happen. So I'm sorry about that. But anyway, it turns out it wasn't Travis Decker. Was it? Now let me just see if I can find, because I should clarify this about the Washington. Hang on, let me see. Just geography. I hate geography anyway. I'm not good at geography, not even of Spain, Britain, or small countries. But like America is just so huge, isn't it? It's so apparently, let me have a look at, what did she say, this lady? So somebody pointed it out, and I'm so grateful of that because, it says your map shows Washington, D.C. near the East Coast, but Decker was from Washington State in the northwest corner of the U.S. So Washington, D.C. and Washington State. So that's my bad. I have to apologize for my absolute ignorance as far as that is concerned. American geography. Oh my God. And it's completely different. Let me just show you this. So you've got what? It couldn't be any further away. Why have they got 2 Washingtons? So, yeah, I do. I need a. So Arkansas is here. That's where this has happened. I was thinking it was the Washington. Travis Decker had disappeared from Washington here, but it hadn't. He disappeared from Washington up here. I mean, he still would have had time, to be honest, to get to Arkansas, wouldn't he? Because he's been missing for 2 months. I still think he's probably dead in that area somewhere. But I just want to show you that because that's how rubbish I am at geography. This Washington State couldn't be any further away from Washington, this other Washington, could it? I've got to learn to check that more when I'm looking at American where things happened in America. So Travis Decker disappeared here in Washington State, not in Washington. So I just wanted to point that out. And I just want to say thank you to the person who pointed it out to me. And let's go back to the press conference now when I find it.
I'm extremely grateful for the long hours and dedication that our agents put forward in bringing justice to this family. The collaboration between state police and other local law enforcement agencies, our federal partners, has been second to none. I also want to thank our media partners for helping us distribute important information during these past few days. Because of their hard work and investigative skill, we were able to take a monster off the streets and bring relief to Clinton and Kristen's precious girls. And to the rest of Citizens Park.
Oh, and this look, he's so touching. He got really upset. Do you know, when it's sort of, I mean, I know it's horrible because it's sad and it's horrible to see someone upset, but it's so very touching when people who, officials, you know, when they get upset, because that means they feel it in a human way. And you get these twonks going around doing these horrible things and, you know, attacking a family with 2 young children. You know, and those 2 children, they're not alive because that person, as you said, Dave, they're not alive because that person let them go. You didn't let them go. The parents sacrificed their own lives to save their children. Otherwise, probably the children would be deceased, or worse, maybe the children were the target, because we don't know why this person did it. He's a substitute teacher, apparently. He's a teacher and educator, the suspects. So it makes you wonder, is he a predator? I mean, were the children the target of that attack, you know? Anyway, the parents saved the children, but unfortunately sacrificed themselves, and the children are now orphans because of this twonk. But yeah, this guy getting all upset, and it's so sweet that he cares so much. Very sweet. You know, most people in the world are good, aren't they?
So I'm going to turn it over now to Secretary Shea Lewis, the Secretary of Parks.
Good evening. My name is Shea Lewis, Secretary of the Arkansas Department of Parks, Heritage, and Tourism, and Director of Arkansas State Parks. Our hearts are with the Brink family tonight, and as they navigate this unimaginable tragedy. We're deeply grateful, and on behalf of the Arkansas Department of Parks, Heritage, and Tourism, would like to thank the work and the men and women of the Arkansas State Police for their swift and tireless work to protect Arkansans and pursue justice for the victims and their loved ones. I would also like to extend my sincere thanks to the many partners who supported Arkansas State Parks during this time, especially the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission, the local law enforcement agencies, all that provided additional law enforcement coverage within our state park system. I'm especially thankful for the dedicated response of our Arkansas State Park staff, including our park rangers, and many others who worked with professionalism, compassion, urgency in the face of this very difficult situation. As always, the safety of our guests and staff will continue to be a top priority for Arkansas State Parks. At this time, I'll turn it back over to Governor Sanders for any questions that may be available tonight.
Thank you. We'll take a couple questions if you guys have them.
Before we ask you about the details of this person arrested accused of this, do you know when this news was?
Now, just as we're watching this, and we'll stick with this because this is the story we're talking about, but I've got some breaking news for you. We're going to talk about the mushroom murderess and her house being seized. But there is some breaking news coming through as we speak that I'm going to tell you about at the end of this video.
Delivered to the victim's family members.
Yeah, I'm going to allow and ask some of the law enforcement who have been leading these efforts to step up and answer some of those specific questions.
So the question was, were they notified or
They
when?
were notified. This had to be big news.
Yes, they were notified just after we made the arrest. They were actually one of the first people that we went to notify. And as you can imagine, it opened up a whole different set of emotions for the Brink family. I'm sure that it was with a sense of relief, but also with a whole new emotion that they're going to have to deal with.
And then, of course, we'll ask what led to this and talk about the person arrested, but you can't say.
So while an arrest has been made, we are refraining from releasing much of the information that led to that arrest. We still have a lot of work to do in terms of, securing a conviction, because that's our next big focus right now. But we will release some details as they become available that we think are pertinent. The community deserves to know what happened and what led to that arrest, and we'll be happy to share that when the time is right.
Can you confirm if we've seen video of?
So, we'll watch this till the end, but yeah, it's still an ongoing investigation. They've got the culprit or the suspect, allegedly, etc. But they've, like she'll say in a moment, they've still got to bring it to a conviction. They don't want to prejudice the conviction. They've still got to be careful what information they can give out, etc. So, of course, now everyone wants to know. I think what everybody wants to know is, why did he do it? How did this happen? Did he target that family specifically? Did he know them? Or were they just in the wrong place at the wrong time? Was it a robbery? Or were the children the target? Was he going for those girls? And he thought if he get rid of the parents, he can assault the girls. This is a teacher. So, just makes you wonder, is he one of those predators that looks for, quite often? There's a van going past advertising something. Is he one of those predator types who looks for a job near children? That's what predators do. So there's all that to find out yet, but she can't give that information yet because it's an ongoing investigation.
An arrest made at this Peter's the beauty shop in Springdale, and we confirmed that that's where he was taken into custody today.
Yes.
So that was him.
Yes.
Do we have any sense of a motive, or do we feel this was random at this time?
We're not going to talk about his motive right now. We're still exploring and determining exactly what that motive was. So it'd be a little premature for us to speak on that tonight.
Anything on this gentleman's background here locally? We're getting word he might have been a youth teacher in the area. Is there anything of that sort that you can confirm for us tonight?
So what I'll say is he just recently moved here and had gotten a job to work at a local school here.
Do you know where he moved from?
I believe it was.
So he'd got a job to work in a local school. He'd only just moved there. Was he? It makes you wonder, were the girls the target there? So, and it's scary, isn't it, thinking how many predators are working in schools? Because predators want to work with children. A lot of people don't want to work with children. No offense, but the saying, don't work with children or animals. It's like, it's a joke, but it's sort of true. Children aren't easy to work with. It's rewarding to work with children, but it's not easy. So a lot of people who gravitate towards jobs with children is because, for predatory reasons, it happens, doesn't it? Now, I'm not saying we don't know that he's a predator, that why he killed that guy, the couple, why he attacked that family, maybe nothing to do with it. I mentioned yesterday, I saw on a couple of pictures of the guy, the father, wearing a Trump T-shirt, make America great again, and etc. Even something like that can set someone off, can't it? In this volatile world that we live in, only takes someone to have a different political view, and someone would kill someone over it. Happens, doesn't it? And there's fights over politics. Could be something like that. He could have had that T-shirt on and he got angry with him, or they could have argued about anything, really, couldn't they? God, you just people get into such a rage about such silly things. But of course, it is a possibility with him being a teacher. You know, going to work at a school, thank God he never got to work at the school as well. I mean, it's bad enough what he's done, but at least he's been found out before he went to work at the school. How many victims has he already had? And how many more victims could he have had, like of, you know, maybe grooming, etc.? Gosh, it's a scary world sometimes, isn't
It's
it?
Oklahoma. Yeah.
Are you able to share where he was arrested specifically?
It was the barber shop that this gentleman just mentioned.
Did the public play a role in this arrest, or I'm just wondering how this happened? Do you have investigators and the word up there? How did we get there?
So I will say that the public was instrumental. When we pushed out the initial information, we were asking for any video. A lot of the video footage that we received was instrumental in helping us identify this particular subject.
A lot of that was looking for a description of a vehicle.
Now, I just want to say that the father of the couple that were killed, the father, he was a milk delivery driver. Not a milkman, I don't think, like the Ernie days. But, you know, he delivered and he got a new job. He was only just about to start a new job as well, wasn't he? Delivering milk, I presume in big vans, you know, as I say, not like a little float like Ernie the milkman. But strange that they both only just moved there as well, isn't it? It's a lot of strange coincidences. So, yes, intriguing, isn't it? What was the connection, if any, or was it just one of those cases they were in the wrong place at the wrong time?
We know the description of our vehicle was seized and being processed as evidence. The description seems to match up with what you've recovered.
That's correct. Yes, sir.
Can you talk about the calls, the tips? State police had to be flooded with calls and how difficult it is to sort through those and vet through those and really get to the core of this investigation?
The tips were, I will say, overwhelming. Once we set up a tip line, we were able to manage those quite well. But when we have to have that public assistance, and when we opened up that tip line, we were able to see what the public was interested in helping us. And it was overwhelming. We were getting them from Washington State. We were getting them from Illinois. They were coming in across the country. So they were instrumental.
When we think about what's going to happen next at Devil's Den, is there any sort of worry or concern that we might see a repeat, or we might see a decrease in the amount of people wanting to go to state parks at this point?
Do you want to answer that?
I don't know if we have a true indication of what the impact will be. I know it has greatly impacted this family with their loss. And as we kind of look forward to kind of navigate through this process and look at reopening trails and reopening other parts of the park, we're going to just kind of take our time in that. Right now, they're going to remain closed. I want to make sure that the Brink family has time to grieve, go through.
You know, it's like, gosh, the chaos this twonk has caused. The chaos, because it's holiday season for a start. And they've had to close. Well, first and foremost, of course, this twonk has taken away the lives of two people in their 30s. Were they 30 or early 40s? He's orphaned two children and traumatized them, terrified them. He's probably traumatized the police, who've had to, you know, find the bodies, comfort the children, you know, go phone up the relatives to tell them their relatives are dead. He's traumatized all them. The parks had to be closed because, you know, because of all the forensic investigations, etc. So he's ruined a lot of people's holidays. Probably people were probably booked in to stay there. There was cabins there that people could stay in. So he's ruined that for everybody. He's that salon where he was having his hair cut, they've had to close down. They're probably losing business. Do you know the ripples that go out from these crimes, apart from the most horrible part of it, it's actually taken 2 lives and orphaned 2 children, but all the other things that ripple out for it, that this person is responsible for. Why? We don't know. He'll have a reason in his own ridiculous mind, but what is his reason? Horrible man. Horrible man.
Through this process, time for our staff to assess the situation, and then we'll reopen it at the appropriate time.
Take maybe 1 or 2 last questions.
We've asked for information, the overall assessment, could that include possible changes, or maybe surveillance cameras and stuff? It's sad that we need those, but things that we've been asking about.
Sure. Even over the last few years, we are constantly in a process of evaluating needs at our parks for safety and security, looking at technology as a tool, making sure our staff, our park rangers, our law enforcement officers are equipped with the tools and the training to be responsive to emergencies.
Let this be the last one here.
It's been, a 5-day ordeal, and information has been pretty scarce. Can you talk to us a little bit about kind of the strategy behind that and why information is kind of hard to, or why you didn't want to share as part of the investigation?
Sometimes when we share information, it actually creates a lot of running down trails that we don't want to go down. It actually hinders the investigation. As some of y'all are likely aware, there was a podcast that really, what we feel hurt the investigation.
Yeah, that's interesting. I don't know which podcast she means. I presume it wasn't mine. I doubt it very much. Podcasts that actually hurt the investigation. I don't know which podcast that was, but you've always got to bear in mind, I suppose. I mean, at the end of the day, when I do a podcast, I only follow what official information I get out there anyway. I mean, I do sort of speculate. We all have our theories. That's the whole point. It's like a discussion group, isn't it? But we do, I don't, like if somebody sent me a video of the suspect or so, I'd just go straight to the police. I'm not getting involved with any investigations. I'm not an investigator. I'm a podcaster, a YouTuber. We talk about true crime because we're interested in it for whatever reason. We want to understand it. We're fascinated with the procedures. We want justice for the victims. But as far as they're the police. They're the ones who investigate, as far as I'm concerned, the proper investigations. And I would hate to think that I'd interfered in that in any way. Just deal with what you hear from official sources. Talk about it. That's my point of being a social media person. I'm not here to pretend. Sometimes I was watching a TikToker actually this morning, and I was just thinking, what? They're talking as if they've got anything to do with any investigation. They sit in probably, I don't know, some tower block somewhere. They're probably on it. They don't work, so they're probably on income support or whatever, which is fine, but then they're on the TikTok or whatever talking as if they know anything about anything. They don't know anything about anything. They're just, they're talking about true crime, like trying to make out there's some sort of special detective person. You're not, you're just, at the end of the day, for me, I'm just a normal person just talking about true crime. I don't have any special knowledge. I don't have any special, I'm not even an ex-investigator or an ex-detective or whatever. It's all about discussion, and I'm only interested in official lines or what the family have to say. And this particular person, they don't even care about the families. I mean, the things that they say, and I'm sort of watching, it's like watching a train wreck, and I'm thinking, why am I even watching this? Because, and I'm dying to say something, but I won't say anything, because you put your head over the parapet and that's it, they come for you then, because, they just talk a load of rubbish all the time.
The interviews that were done were spreading information that we were using to help locate, because the last thing we wanted to do was for him to be alerted that we were onto him, so to speak. And so that we try to give information that's going to help us identify this person, but we don't want to give anything that we don't want them to go underground. We don't want them to go into hiding. And so that's why we were very deliberate with the information and really on the timing that it was delivered. So that was kind of the strategy.
Thank you.
I'll just close out again by saying a big thank you to the men and women of our law enforcement, again, across every level, individuals who have stepped up and offered tips and information to our state parks team and their staff for everybody's collaborative effort over the course of the last several days. And again, we ask that every Arkansan remember this family and lift them up in prayer and offer condolences and comfort to them in any way that you can. So thank y'all again. And again, appreciate our law enforcement and prayers for all of Arkansas. Thank y'all.
Okay, so
All right.
that was the police interview. So a couple of people there were asking about the ages of the kids. I think I put, so yeah, Clinton, the father, he was 43. Kristen, the mother, was 41. And the girls are 7 and 9. So, you know, very young children. So apparently on the 911 call, if it's true, it says on this, this is a podcast. I don't know if this is the podcast she was talking about. I don't know. I haven't watched the whole podcast. I very rarely watch other people's podcasts, which sounds awful, but I often don't like listening to other people's podcasts. But this guy on True Crime Today said that the 9/11 dispatcher revealed, that's not even been spelt right, has it? Reveals new facts. Run as far as you can. So according to him and his podcast, whether he's the podcast she was talking about, I have no idea. But he says, or the 9/11 dispatcher, look, run as fast and as far as you can. These were a mother's final words to her daughters before she and her husband were murdered on a trail at Devil's Den. In an exclusive interview I had this morning. Now take this with a pinch of salt. I don't know if it's genuine or not. You know, the problem with podcasters sometimes, we saw it with that Joseph Morris, he's a terrible liar. A lot of them are complete liars that just make things up. Sadly, you know, I'm sorry to say, but they do. And this could be one of those cases of him making it up, or it could be legitimate. So I'm just reporting it back to you. You decide whether you believe it or not. I'm not listening to, go and listen to his podcast. I'm not listening to it. I know it'll irritate me because there won't be any, you know, there won't be any proof in it. It'll just be, I mean, at the end of the day, I could get my friend to ring up, couldn't I? And we could have a call over the video and them saying that they're a dispatcher, as long as they had an American accent, of course. But you know what I'm saying. Where's the proof? So I'll wait till the police, you know, release the 9/11 call. Then, yes, that's the real call. So these were a mother's final words to her daughters before she and her husband were murdered on a trail at Devil's Den. In an exclusive interview I had this morning, the 9/11 dispatcher from that day reveals chilling new details from the call. Now, would the 9/11 dispatcher be allowed to do that when there's an active investigation going on? I mean, yeah, maybe later after this twonk is convicted. This is an ongoing case. Surely they won't be allowed to do that. Release information without permission. Anyway, who knows? Who knows? So there you go. I just don't know. You know, people talk so much crap on social. They do talk crap on social media. Probably people think I talk crap. You know, I don't know, but I never make things up.